Well, you are who you are, as our good friend Pete Prisco would say. And is anybody any good right now? That's the question we're going to get into with our guys as you take a look at our Week 9 scores. Welcome into Game Day Recap. I'm Haley Sutton. The Panthers, boy, they were on the prowl with the win in the contest, a special game for that one. A game-winning kick to beat the Packers. Meanwhile, Heart Attack Broncos getting it done in the fourth. You won't believe the stat that we've got going on in the Mile High as they pick up another win. And welcome back, J.J. McCarthy, a strong showing in his return. It's time to take you through it all here on Game Day Recap. Let's meet the crew while we're at it. Pete Prisco feeling good. Your Sun Devils, how about that? Picking up a win.
They don't count. They don't matter.
What were you excited about? I cut you off.
Huh?
What'd you point at me for? What were you?
Because you said my name right that time.
I did.
You got it right.
I did. I said Pete Prisco. I don't know what was going on.
Who is that guy?
I don't know who it is. Pete Prisco's with us. We've got our GM, Rand Carthon, on set, and our quarterback, Danny Kanell. Guys, what a weird day of football. Can we start there first? What did you guys think quickly of Week 9?
I mean, it's Halloween weekend, so everything's kind of a little bit funky, but you had some wild finishes, some tight games in the 1 o'clock window, and we just had a little bit of everything today.
Yeah, you get these ugly weeks. It just happens. It just so happened to be we're at the halfway point of the season, and we were due an ugly week after starting the season so strong.
Well, last week was really ugly.
Yeah,
Remember how bad that week was? This week was weird in that you had the best teams in the league losing. I mean, at home. You can't figure this thing out. You just can't.
All right, well, let's get started with the Bears because what a game that we were in a treat for there. We're going to pick this one up late. Just under a minute 45 to go. Bears-Bengals. The Bears are up 41-35. McPherson on the onside kick. The Bengals recover. A little bit of a scrum to get there. Take another look at it, but you see it there. Bengals get the ball, so here comes Joe Flacco. He's had a great game to this point. Same score. Looking for the lead. He hits Andre Yoshavash for the game-winning touchdown, so the Bengals go up by a point. Flacco loving it. Bears down 1. Can they draw up the comeback? Caleb Williams hits Colston Loveland with the catch, but he wasn't done there. Breaks a tackle, takes it to the end zone. The Bears hold on to win it 47-42. An incredible performance just when you thought it couldn't get any better for the Bengals. And then the Bears turn around and get it done. And how about this? There were some missed tackles, guys, on that Yoshavash touchdown. And this was the sign in the stands. I will not miss tackles. I will not miss tackles. This is like what the kids used to have to do back in the day whenever they got in trouble.
Yes, those of us that are old enough to remember doing that, I think you're probably too young for that, Haley. That's what you have to do. Cincinnati had 15 missed tackles in the game. That is inexcusable, but that's how you give up 576 yards of total offense. Defense a lot of time is effort, and I thought you saw a significant lack of effort. Clearly there's a talent issue there as well for the Bengals, but that was some atrocious defense on display.
We had that conversation before that sign showed up and before that play happened. I told Rand, I go, they are one of the worst tackling teams I've ever seen. And we've seen a lot of bad tackling this year. That was awful. But that play, let's be real. He probably, if they don't tackle him there, they probably make the field goal and win the game anyways. But it just is a terrible, terrible look in that situation.
I'm going to take it a step further. Like, throughout the NFL, you're only allowed 11 padded practices. And so you don't get very many opportunities in practice to tackle, right? Everything, as you know, everything is stud and the tap and you let the guys keep running. No, we need to start putting Rydell to Rydell and start tackling people so we can, get rid of games like this where you have 15 missed tackles. DK, you said it, that's poor. Especially to be a professional football player on defense, to miss 15 tackles in a game, that's a very poor.
Wait a second. You want full padded practices tackling again?
That's
with you.
That's how you learn.
I'm with him, by the way. I agree with him. But can you imagine? It's a survival test now as it is, Rand. These guys barely make it through the season.
But here's the problem. It starts from a young age. Like, tackle football isn't even allowed in some states before you're 12 or 13. Everybody's playing 7-on-7. You're not learning how to tackle out there. College has similar rules. You're not allowed to do many padded practices. So I think this is a trend that is here to stay. I just think defense is sort of a lost art, and you just have to hope your guys get out there. That's where I come back to the effort issue, because I still think some of it isn't exactly so much technique. It is effort. You mentioned we're at that point of the season, too, where players, they're starting to kind of see the end, and you're just kind of in the doldrums there where you're at week 9, 10, your body's kind of pounded. Sometimes you have a bye week coming up, or you're just kind of trying to get through it, and that is not a recipe for great defensive football.
Listen, I'm just going to wear my old school hat today because that's why training camp is so important.
I agree.
It is.
And the physical nature of what we know training camp to be.
Not that way anymore,
But it's
though.
not that way anymore. And so you're losing these opportunities because, like we said, well, we just said it. You only get 11 padded practices during the season. So training camp should be ramped up. Right, you should work on all these things while you can, and right now it's just so much of, hey, let's just get to week one, and let's just get there healthy. And I just believe that the first time your body feels stress shouldn't be in a game.
Right.
The game should be the easy part. Practices should be hard. You should look forward to getting to the game and not the other way around.
The Bengals were atrocious, but Ben Johnson was in his bag as well.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. Let's talk about the Bears.
Exactly. They deserve some credit, too. You had 4 different players attempt passes in the game with several different trick plays. And how about the rookie Kyle Monungai, who is a physical running back? For him to go off for 170-plus, Caleb Williams continues to get better, and it's amazing what it does for a young quarterback when you have a run game and you have some creativity in the offense. He's getting more and more comfortable playing some of his best football. So this Bears team's probably one of the more dramatically improved teams of the season. They've got it rolling right now.
I want to set the stage for what the Bears were able to do today, going off that point. The most points scored in a game since 2018. They put up 47 today. They're now 5-0 this season when scoring 25 or more points. Caleb Williams, you mentioned it, his stat line is crazy. There's so many numbers going on. 280 passing yards, 53 receiving yards. The list goes on and on. Danny, when you look at what the Bears were able to do today, I know you pointed to Monungai, but it's kind of almost felt like a stop-and-go season for Chicago. How did they sort of set the tone or remedy that today?
I mean, I think it's just the consistency with which they run. There's a little bit of a youth movement. You got Caleb Williams, you got Kyle Monungai, Colston Loveland had the big touchdown reception to win the game, and then it becomes a confidence thing. I mean, so much about playing the sport and excelling and continuing it is a belief in the system that you're running, the coaching that you're receiving, and then going out and execute it. So now you're starting to stack wins where all of a sudden this Chicago team is starting to believe that they can beat anybody on the field. They don't care what the score says. They can beat anybody at any given time. And it is a reflection of the job that Ben Johnson has done, coming and establishing a culture of winning. But that starts with the preparation on Monday when you go into the building and the preparation you put out so you come out Sunday ready to go.
Yeah, we're raving about his offense, but let's go to the other side of the ball. Wasn't very good over there. I mean, you saw Joe Flacco lit him up.
70 passing yards.
I mean, he lit him up. And so if I'm the Bears, I'm sitting there saying, okay, we're excited about what we've done on offense, and they should be. Caleb Williams did some nice things today. He really did. And the creativity is there, and they've run the ball. But let's go to the other side. I mean, this is supposed to be a team that's supposed to be better than that on defense, and they're not very good right now, and that's where I'm concerned about it. But you're right. The offense, fantastic, fun to watch. Defense, really bad right now.
Yeah, and the big thing for me is that they didn't turn the ball over. And that has been a problem for the Chicago Bears offense in turning the ball over. And they didn't turn the ball over today. And, yeah, from a statistical standpoint, they gave up a ton of yards passing through the air, but they were still able to force 3 turnovers and even had some turnovers late that were taken off the board due to penalties and some other things. But when it mattered most, they were able to get their hands on the ball and give their offense a chance.
Yeah, I mean, kudos to them because, to your point, they gave up 470 passing yards from Joe Flacco. I know we were kind of joking earlier with Joe Flacco, which Joe they're going to lean on whenever Joe Burrow gets healthy to come back. Real quick vibe check, though, when it comes to Cincinnati before we hit a break here. When it comes to Zack Taylor as a head coach, where are we at? Because there's been a lot of hot seats, cold seats, et cetera. Pete, I'll give you the floor.
Well, if you're the head coach and you don't have your quarterback, sometimes you get a pass on that. But here's the problem with it. Your defense has been awful. No matter what, you change the coordinator, defense still stinks, you know? So at some point, you got to look at the guy who's making the decision to make those decisions. And so I think it's a hot seat. There's no doubt it's a hot seat when it comes to Zack Taylor. And I think losing Joe Burrow for a long time probably might help save him. But the reality is the problem is the other side of the ball, not the offense.
You keeping Zack or no?
Yeah, I would keep him. Because,
I would keep him too.
Because here's the thing, and Pete just said it, that you're on your second coordinator, right? And the problem is still there. So is it coaching or is it personnel?
Bingo.
And so that's to me.
You're excited about that.
Yeah, no, because I do. I think
He's jockeying for the Bengals job.
He'd do a better job assembling a defensive roster that could do better than what the Bengals have. We're talking historically bad defensive play from this Cincinnati Bengals defense. And think about, they've invested so much money on the offensive side of the ball, they've kind of ignored the defensive side of the ball, and I think they are absolutely paying for it right now.
But DK, from a team building standpoint, right, when you've spent all your money on offense, you have to hit on young guys in the draft because you're going to have to build the defense through the draft. So we know that's going to take a little time, and then you put them in a new system, and so and you had such turnover, right, going from your previous D coordinator to now Al Golden and what he likes to do. It's just going to take some time.
But they have invested in the defense on the draft, and they haven't hit on those guys. They've had a lot of guys
that's the personnel.
But that's the personnel piece
Correct.
of it. But then you also have a new coordinator, and then this current draft class is the first draft class to play in his system. So you're still trying to fit the old pieces into the new way of doing things. So it's going to take another cycle for them to try to really get their guys that they really want.
All right, we will leave it there when it comes to another crazy game in the NFL. We got to get to the marquee matchup of the day, though. Chiefs-Bills always brings the fireworks, and every single regular season it seems to be the Bills getting the Chiefs number. What you need to know about that big game next on Game Day Recap.